Thanks for tuning in. Some free music. Just some free music. That didn't go out very easy. Brother Rob Wilson. It is a wintry, blizzardy day in Illinois. I think we just got 12 to 16 inches of snow, pretty sure. I've shoveled about 3 hours today in a small driveway just to be able to get out to the road so I can probably go to work tomorrow. But so I've done a couple videos in addition to the snow removal, and I got some free time. I thought I would do a live feed reaction to everybody's favorite individual on this channel, JLP, Jesse Lee Peterson, and the boys, his experts, he calls them experts, chopping it up about Whoopi Goldberg's recent Whoopsi. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see what you think of what they have to say. Let me bring up the screen share. Brother Roberto. This was from, I think it was from yesterday. Actually, I have to thank Jesse. He's the one who, I didn't hear about this recent Whoopsi of Whoopi. I heard it on Jesse's show. That's why I was making comments about it. So thanks, Jesse. See, there's no hate here. Appreciate you. Let's see what he had to say. Him and his experts.
Everybody and mama talking about Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. And some of you know she's that black woman on The View. And apparently Whoopi said something about the Jews or something. And now everybody's on fire. And apparently she apologized and all kind of stuff. So I wanted to ask my experts about this. Because I did see it. My producer showed it to me. And I thought, this is a very interesting story to me. Very interesting. But I want to know what my experts think, and I want to know what you all out there in the world think about this story concerning Whoopi Goldberg. She's black. She's black.
I think you need some different experts. That's what I think. I think you need some different experts. Of course, that's just my opinion. I hear you, man. I hear you, Errol. Yes. Haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't watched the whole thing. I just started to watch it, and then I did my research. Then I came back to Jesse, what he has to say about it. It's gotta be stupid. You're right. I'm gonna continue. Did you see this? These experts, you could literally go out to the street and get these experts. Errol, me and you probably got something more productive to offer to this situation than Jesse and his experts.
This is from the Daily Mail. Whoopi Goldberg made headlines yesterday when she claimed that the Holocaust was not about race on The View. So I'm playing the whole little segment there where they were discussing this, and I want you to observe the attitudes and the responses to the other folks on the panel with Whoopi Goldberg. I guess they host and all that kind of crap. Watch this.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
No, it's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's
Well,
about
but
going
it's not-
after
it's
Jews
not about
and
race.
gypsies and
But these are two
Romans.
white groups of people.
Well, they
How
go
do we
after black
They
people
don't see
too.
them as white.
And they
But
went
you're
after
missing the
homosexuals.
point. You're
Yeah.
missing the
Again, these two, this can't be about race. These are two groups of white people. We all fit conveniently into whatever narrative this leftist CRT narrative. There's no distinction or differences. We're all the same. Ugh. If that ain't racist, I don't know what is.
point.
Yeah.
The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other.
Right. It's how some people treat other people. And it's the same ideology of this radical left.
It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other. So is it,
Ooh.
if you're uncomfortable,
Did she just blow up the left ideology right there and say that everybody eats everybody else? Everybody does this? Wow. She's got a moment of insight here.
if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're going to say. They're going to say, I don't want to be like that.
Well, hopefully.
I want to be cool.
Yeah,
And
most kids, they don't want to be cruel.
No, they don't.
And we're living in an era where people are comparing vaccine cards to the yellow stars, where people are comparing vaccinations to what Anne Frank went through.
Yeah.
So it is necessary for kids to learn about
They
the
have
Holocaust.
to. By the way,
About man's inhumanity to man, however it exposes itself. I have to cut you off.
I just want to say that now.
God, she's fat.
Oh yeah, he got real big.
Who?
He ain't working out.
Yeah, Whoopi.
It doesn't seem.
Wow, that's real Christian-like. Not so much.
A lot of rotund ladies on that
Yeah.
panel.
But anyway, so I want to know what you think about this, folks. I never thought one day I would see this type of conversation on TV. Really. I really
Actually, I agree with him on that. I never thought the day would come when I would see any of this stuff. I don't know about you, but I never thought the day would come when I would see anything like this.
So in the last minute, I asked my experts, I want to hear from them what they think about that, all right? And my experts are here. I do want to hear about you from Super Chats or however. But I want to know what you think about that conversation. And then I will read a little later after we have the conversation what Whoopi Goldberg, her apology. She gave an apology after all that. So Hake is here. Hake is the host of the HakeReport.com from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right after my show, HAKE, the Hake Report. And he's also one of my experts on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Nick is here, the Acre Baby. And he's the host now of Acre Baby's new show on Fridays at 5 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. And he is also one of my producer and expert on the Jesse Lee Peterson. Last but not least, Chris, he white as snow. And he is the social media guy, the engineer here, and also an expert on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And so I'll start with you today, Hake.
All right.
Had you seen this before right now?
I had heard and read a little bit, but I had not heard the clip, I don't think.
And when you first heard it, did you go, ooh?
I saw the
I'm
headline.
gonna tell mama.
I saw like some headline, Whoopi Goldberg said the Holocaust is not about race. I'm like, ooh.
You said what?
That the Holocaust was not about race. And I said, ooh, let me click on this.
Is this the Holocaust or
You see how, let me see. See how he's created like this dome of allegiance with these experts. They all have their own shows. They're all branching out from Jesse. That's how he keeps his minions in line. This is money. This is pure money to this man. Pure money in politics.
the Holocaust?
Whatever. I don't know.
Have some reverence.
I pronounce it I pronounce it Holocaust, but
Yeah, there is quite a bit of irreverence and a lack of humility to this suffering that millions of people died. And so, yes, this is pretty bad too. But Jesse receives no flack from nobody about anything. That's what's crazy.
I do not begrudge you the right to pronounce it Holocaust.
Well, I got that from the black. When I grew up, when I moved out here.
Yeah.
But anyway, what do you say about what you just heard there?
What a
Whoopi
nice point
Goldberg.
that she made. That was like going to like a deeper level of how human beings are evil to one another, as opposed to this shallow thing about making it about race, like pointing to the excuses that people make for why they think others hate each other or whatever. It was getting to the root issue. So that was such a nice point by her.
And what do you think of the women reaction or responses to it?
It was interesting
That was
because
there on the panel.
this evil woman, who's the Nicaraguan or whatever she is, she's the anti-Trump rhino, former Republican. And Ana Navarro, I think is what her name is. I forget. But she said it is necessary for kids to learn about the Holocaust or something, because they're putting the yellow stars on the Jews to what we're doing with the vaccine cards and stuff.
I didn't understand when she said it.
Yeah, I think that's complete insanity. Yeah, I know there's a lot of variants out there about the vaccines. There's a lot of controversy about that, but there's no comparison whatsoever. I mean, you have to stretch it out way beyond. This is not the first pandemic. There's been a Spanish flu. This is not the first time the government has put mandates on people. In fact, they're all over it. Do you wear a seatbelt? Do you wear a seatbelt? Lots of folks wear seatbelts and are too young to remember the time when you weren't required to wear one, and the flack and the pushback that people had against that. But the difference was there was no social media. There was no way to hear or organize other people who didn't want seatbelts to be legal. Now it's normal, and actually it's beneficial.
Didn't get that point.
So people have said that, there's been other so-called authoritarian countries like Nazi Germany, where here was authoritarian and doing stuff, forcing the Jews and other people to wear like some symbol to separate them from society, from the rest of society.
Okay.
So in a similar way, they're trying to alienate and bring hate and scapegoat upon the unvaccinated, which is true.
What she said.
That's disgusting. That's a disgusting comparison. There's no comparison. I'm not saying there couldn't be someday, but right now, no. All they're wanting people to do is follow these mandates. I'm not for control. I'm not for overreach, but I'm not for comparing Nazi Germany and the Holocaust to showing a vax card or the mandates. There's just no comparison. That's total lack of regard for history, for reality. You're out of it, dude.
That's a
Humanizing
bad
us.
thing to make the vaccinated people wear that?
No, she was saying that it's harmless to do that to unvaccinated people, but it was so evil to do that to Jews. When they were doing that to Jews, like they didn't even, I don't think that anybody really knew that they were going to be killing them and stuff, right? So we don't know.
Does anybody think that's nuts besides me? I see that we got 7 people. Is that crazy? I mean, yeah, I know some people don't want to get vaccinated. Some people don't want to show their vax card. Okay, I understand that. But you can't compare that. You cannot compare that to the systematic extermination of the Jewish people. Come on, man. That's how you're just as bad as the left. This type of rhetoric is just as bad as the radical left.
Know what lies ahead with how these people hate the unvaccinated people. They would be glad to kill us. And then they also mentioned
That's not true. You don't know. Nobody wants to kill people who are unvaccinated. And I'm not pushing anybody to do anything. I did what I did. I got the vaccine. I'm cool. I got a card, but I never went on a campaign to force people to do what I did because I've been vaccinated. When you're in the military, you got to get vaccinated against your will all the time. And you're going over to other countries where things exist that didn't exist in the United States.
It's in
Crazy.
this book, Mouse, Maus, which
When I heard her say mouse, I thought she meant a rat. I thought she was like,
Maybe
if
they
the kids
did.
see a rat running around the house, they're going to say, but what does they mean by mouse? I didn't know.
I don't know
understand
what
that.
mouse means. It may mean rat, but a Tennessee school board, I read this last week in Hake News, a Tennessee school board banned Mouse, M-A-U-S, a Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel, meaning comic book,
Oh,
big
that's a
long comic
book.
book,
Okay.
about the Holocaust for profanity and an image of a naked woman. So they banned that book, saying it wasn't appropriate for kids in schools.
And who was mouse?
I don't know. I don't know
okay.
anything about why it's called that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's called that because they use anthropomorphic mice to represent Jews and cats to represent Nazis.
Oh.
Oh.
It's called Mouse.
What? Somebody
That's
know history.
dehumanizing.
Make it kid friendly.
Yeah.
That's dehumanizing the
Yeah.
Nazis and the Jews. That's not good.
You can make the Holocaust kid friendly. Apparently.
Then how do they have a naked woman? Do they have a naked rat or a naked cat? Or just a woman?
I don't know about all that.
If
I
you
just
feed
know-
the rats to the cats and
I
the
just
cats
know
to the
what-
rats, you get the catskins for nothing.
Well, there are those cats that has no hair. I see
I
those
know.
little ratty looking cats
Yeah.
with the big eyes. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing in the world like a big eyed girl to make me spend my money, maybe.
Yeah, it's funny how they were all
day selling. Oh, baby,
but they were
that's
all
the way I
repeating stuff that they heard and just the common stuff that you always hear about the Holocaust, shallow stuff that you can't relate to, but everybody can relate to being evil to other people.
Yeah.
So I liked Whoopi's point. She slipped and made a great point.
I bet Whoopi was like, how did I have a deep moment?
I gotta agree. I gotta agree with him on that point. See, I'm not just pathologically disagreeable. You did notice that she actually destroyed the typical leftist ideas in what she said. It's not about that. It's about people being systematically evil to other people.
I've lost my blackness. Amazing. What do you think about the comment? I mean, that whole discussion with Whoopi and
Yeah.
those are guest hosts. I mean,
Co-host.
co-hosts, right? Okay, and her co-host.
Yeah, I was just laughing at how the like uproar on both sides. You got the conservatives trying to dunk on Whoopi, like, what are you crazy? Obviously it's about race, you racist. And then you
They
got
said that.
There's people like there's people calling her racist for even saying that.
Anti-Semitic.
Oh, she's anti-Semitic for
Really?
saying that. And it's conservative people saying, obviously it's about race. That was obviously about race, you anti-Semite, or whatever. So you got the mess, all the uproar on both sides, and it's funny to watch it all because she made a pretty much true statement.
About it being
About-
inhumane and
Right. She said it's about the inhumanity of man or something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
Now, of course, there seems to be a little bit of like hypocrisy in a sense, because I wonder if she would make the same deep point if you would like talk about Black Lives Matter or police brutality or anything like that.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, I wonder if she'd be as ideologically consistent, but
Or this mess between the black and the white. The blacks are
Yeah,
blaming the
that's
whites.
not about race either.
Right. That's
Exactly.
That's definitely not about race.
and she says in her apology on Steve, she
well, we're
appeared
going to
on
get to the
Colbert.
apology.
All right.
Go ahead.
But just quickly,
Yeah.
in the apology, she says how it's not about race, it's about evil. But I don't think she even realizes just how deep it is what she was saying.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear her be so deep.
Yeah.
Really?
But again, I don't know if she'd be as consistent if you bring the blacks and whites into it. And she's also
Absolutely not. they tried to double, triple down on that also. Backpedal it back to reframe everything in the white supremacy narrative. So they're not wanting to do that. They're like, Whoopi, you said something wrong. You said something outside of the ideology.
I was saying like, oh, this is just between whites. When it's between whites, is whatever. So this is white people fighting white people. So whatever.
Oh, she said it was white people fighting whites.
Yeah.
Well, she called it the Jews white.
Exactly.
Oh, because I don't know about now, but most black, I don't know about most. I used to think that white people and Jews were the same. I couldn't tell the difference.
Same.
No,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, this gets real messy right here. Real messy, real ugly, real stupid, real Jesse.
To be honest,
I couldn't tell, meaning that I couldn't, in the old days, I couldn't tell if a Jew was a white person. If I saw a white person and a Jew walking together, I wouldn't know the difference because they're both white.
Sure, you can make the mistake, but I still don't know if they are or not. I don't think so, right?
I asked the question out loud, and I've been told they're not the same.
Yeah, because there seems to be a sort of like descendants kind of thing. Like you have to have Jewish parents to be Jewish, but yet it's also a religion. So I don't know.
But I thought they looked alike.
That's another thing. There seems to be a nationality going on.
To the untrained eye.
Nationality. That's what the Bible says. In the end times, nation will rise against nation. Or what it literally says is ethnos against ethnos. Ethnicity. This whole ethnic warfare, tribalism we got going on. It was prophesied by Jesus.
Whatever.
What's the trained eye see?
Well, according to Dylon,
Enlighten us.
my former de facto producer for the Hake Report, Dylon is mostly Jewish.
Yeah.
He said that their face is a little bit crooked or something.
Acromegaly.
I don't know. He can pick them out.
I could tell that my friend Dennis Prager is a Jew.
I can't tell that he is.
I can. He looked like a Jew. And then
I don't know. I haven't really looked closely at his face.
when I would go to his house on Friday nights for that Shabbat thing, it's called Shabbat?
I think so. Shabbat.
Yeah, Shabbat. The family members and friends, I could tell they were Jews. But
What was that? Right. Like, right, Errol. Like they spend all their time in deep philosophical understanding when what I see this individual and his horde of minions as being the right wing side of the radical left. I don't see him as any different. I see him as opposite sides of the same coin, and they can't even see it either. Listen to what they're talking about right now. The way they're
if
talking.
somebody walking down the road, I can kind of tell now because I look real hard.
Some of them I can tell.
Yeah. But anyway,
This is the stereotyping and the prejudice. These people have the stereotyping and the prejudice that most people oppose and are against. Like Jesse is a radical chauvinist, a radical racist in that worst kind of way. He says, "Oh, not all, but most." No, Jesse, you don't know most people. You don't know anybody who doesn't travel in your circle.
So many people look at someone and say, "Oh, that person looks Jewy," that I think I could see it now.
yeah.
But basically, the final thing here is like, I'm just watching the conservatives try and dunk on Whoopi Goldberg. And I don't know, how did she get the name Goldberg, by the way? Is she a black Israelite?
Isn't that a Jewish name?
Is she one of the original Jews? But anyways.
I often wonder how she got Goldberg and she's so black.
She was born Karen Elaine Johnson, known professionally as
slave
Whoopi
name.
Goldberg.
How'd she get the last name? Did she
Her
make it up?
professional
Your
name.
grandfather
That means
did.
she made it up.
I haven't looked. I haven't seen that far. This is all according to very trustworthy Wikipedia.
Oh, well, we can't trust them.
She gave up her slave name.
What do you think about it? That conversation there. I mean, Chris. Anything else, Nick, for that?
Yeah, that I'm watching the conservatives dunk on Whoopi Goldberg, and I'm like, it's interesting.
You've said that 6 times. It's good. I mean, you got to have a pushback And you have to have a slap in the face. You have to bring this to people's awareness.
When conservatives are quick to like react to like a liberal, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, see, look, you're the racist," but it's like you're missing the point. You're missing the chance to bring some truth to the whole situation about, for example, racism and evil.
Yeah.
To just dunk on somebody.
Conservative Republicans are not what it used to be. They're following the lead of the Democrat and the media. They don't bring, conservatives used to bring insight to a situation, right? Republicans, when they were real Republicans, not rhinos, they would bring insight into a situation. Now they don't do that anymore. They go right along with it.
I think you're judging people, Jesse. I think you're judging people. Well, you can't recognize people by the outside. You can't. That's unrecognizable. That's an unrecognizable. That's like looking at. I'm not getting into that. This is just to hear Jesse judging people. He says don't
No
judge people.
insight. You're absolutely right
No
about
insight. You just judge
that.
people.
Chris, what do you think? Had you seen that report before right now?
No, that was the first time I saw it.
And so your impression.
I mean, my general impression, I mean, it's just kind of similar with The View. I mean, they're just a bunch of like cackling hens. I don't really pay any mind to anything that they say, but specifically to Whoopi, what she was talking about, I mean, I think she was doing what's pretty typical of most people these days, but in her case, she's black, so she wanted to be special. And, you know, in the case of, you know, Jews and Germany during that time, yeah, they look alike. So to her, she's saying, oh, you know, white people are just not getting along. Her being black, she wants to be special. She wants to own the victim narrative. So that's why she's like, oh, that's why she was saying what she was saying, because it didn't involve blacks. She wanted to be special and stand out in that regard. You know, whether or not she de facto made, you know, some kind of decent point out of that, you know, remains to be seen. But that is what she was trying to do. She was trying to sort of, what's the word, shoehorn in black victimization into this other discussion about. I think that discussion.
Well, there's a lot of time left to this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing today. I appreciate you for tuning in. That was somewhat entertaining, not educational at all. Yeah, Errol, I caught that, man. It's hard to know. It's hard to know over live feed what's sarcasm and what's not. But you know, yeah. So anyway, I just thought that might be a little entertaining, and I think this guy was going to a good point. I'm going to watch the rest of this. Have to start off at 17 minutes if I do the rest of it, but there's like 20 more minutes of this nonsense, and I didn't get anything out of it except I honestly see the same thing that they say about the other department being done on, like I said, I feel like Jesse is just another part of the problem on the other side of the coin. That's it. That's it. All right. We hung out with Jesse's boys a little bit. And you see there on certain issues, if I think they're right, they're right. But where I think they're wrong and where I think this man is a danger is where he passes himself off as a follower of Jesus Christ, as a Christian politician. I think he should stick to politics, really, and entertainment. A lot of people post comments and say, I've never really thought of him as a pastor, more like an entertainer. Well, you should just come out with that. A lot of other things are coming out, controversies coming out. Well, just come out and say, I'm not actually a pastor, and I teach some mindfulness gimmicks that help people. I'm not, like I've never said they weren't beneficial or helpful, these mindfulness techniques. I got a journal. I do reflections. I do breathing. Okay. But I don't try to pass it off as praying. And like in counseling and therapy, they teach people how to be mindful. Okay. So this isn't just a pure reviling session here, but men of destiny have to accurately, what did you use? Speculate or reflect on what we're really looking at. What are we really seeing? What are we really hearing? And I just want to make it clear what you hear from Jesse and his experts is largely, completely, biblically obliterated. They are biblically obliterate and illiterate. So at any rate, this is Brother Rob Wilson, just jumping on here real quick. Like I said, I've been shoveling snow. We got about 12 to 16 inches of snow today. Been shoveling snow all day today, so uh, made a couple videos and do the live stream. Thanks for hanging out with me, Errol. You got a 6-year-old grandson, huh? How many grandchildren you got altogether? Amen. Well, the Bible says that children are a blessing from the Lord, like like arrows in a quiver are the children born in a man's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full. Oh, just one? Okay. It says, blessed is the man whose quiver is full. Yeah, I got 8 children. I have lost count of grandchildren. I have to be a better grandpa, huh? All right. This is Brother Rob Wilson. If you want to look this up, it's labeled. They're a handful. How old are you? How old are you? Oh, the grandson is 8? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. They can move pretty fast. They can get their traction going at 8 years old. 58. Oh, okay. You were around my age. Yeah. 58 and 55 and dealing with 8-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds. My daughter asked me to come with her and my granddaughter to what do you call it? A trampoline park. And I'm telling you, it was, even though I wasn't jumping, even just walking around to the different jump areas where my granddaughter was going was obliterating and exhausting. And you have to keep pace with them because they can get on a trampoline. Because I think she was right around 2 years old at the time. They can get on a trampoline they shouldn't be on. They can get into a danger zone quick, and I mean quick. So they have this jumping park called, I think, what's it called, Elevate. Okay, and me and my son went over there with my daughter for the grandbaby to play, and I was just trying to watch the newborn grandbaby, but no, I had to go chasing around the 2-year-old, making sure she didn't get on something that was too dangerous. All right, I'll check you all out tomorrow. I'll try to come up with some other good stuff for your entertainment. Not for your education, unfortunately, if it comes from Jesse. But like I said, I'm going to try to come up with the things for Tara that was asking me about to dispute and refute the ideal of sinless perfection that Jesse says, if you've been born again, you never sin again, which is completely biblically illiterate. All right, this is Brother Rob Wilson signing off. Errol, good night. Take it easy. I hope you're not in the path of this snowstorm that just came through. If not, I hope you don't have to go anywhere. All right. Peace and love in Jesus' name.